Hello and welcome to PowerDrift. Throughout the lockdown, we've stayed inside, we've stayed safe, and that's how we've emerged stronger. Many of our team members are already vaccinated, and I know the process is difficult, but I do hope that you stick with it and ensure that you get jabbed as well. Today we're going to talk about two companies, Royal Enfield and Bajaj Auto, and how they hit the bullseye and created what we know as the premium motorcycle market in India. Now, this trip down memory lane is especially close to my heart because early 2000s is when all of the action began, and in fact, I was new to the business, and the Pulsar 150 prototype, the red one, I still remember it distinctly, was one of the first motorcycles I got to ride and then write about. In 2001, the Bajaj Pulsar 150 and 180 hit the market. Their 18-liter tank, it would define the look of this motorcycle, well, actually till today. And 15 bhp from that 180 back in the day, it was just incredible. I do think Bajaj could have afforded to differentiate the 150 and the 180 from each other a lot more, but together, they defined how we see enthusiast motorcycling even today. And just a year after that, Royal Enfield brought out the Thunderbird. To ride, it was a strange mix of cruiser and non-cruiser. But you know, like cake batter, as opposed to cake, it has a following of its own. So does the Thunderbird even to this day. And just a year after that, the Black Bullet, the venerable Black Bullet, the mainstay of Royal Enfield at this point, that would start pushing into urban India with momentum. And then Bajaj did something really clever. They launched a new Pulsar with these alloy wheels. And what was clever is that it happened literally the day before Honda announced their Pulsar competitor, the Unicorn. Literally the day before, which is really cheeky. But this restyle also brought the 15-liter tank that would be the mainstay for the Pulsar family for absolutely ages. And now the 180 made more power, 16.5 bhp. Now 2007 was a big year for the Pulsar because the 220 DTSF5 came out. And that motorcycle was special because it had a powerful engine, fuel injection, a rear disc, clip-ons. That would dominate the buzz for a while, and it sells so steadily today that updating this is a headache for Bajaj even now from the "it's not broken, don't fix it" perspective. The big event in 2009 was the arrival of the Royal Enfield Classic. It looked fantastic. But if you think about it, there weren't any engineering updates to speak of, and it just was old attire for a very old motorcycle. So as journalists, we sort of shook a limp hand at it. We were like, yeah, another cosmetic bullet. And we were about to be proven resoundingly wrong, because with the Classic, the world's most profitable motorcycle manufacturer was on its way. So let's fast forward to 2013, and the Pulsar NS200 was on sale, based of course on the excellent KTM 200 Duke. So it had liquid cooling, it had 3 spark plugs, and for a first in the Pulsar line, a rear monoshock. And meanwhile, the Classic, well, it was doing its job. It was busy making the graph makers buy ever larger tables to work on. But I think that the GT535 brought to Royal Enfield the largest chunk of its current chassis engineering and design teams both. In fact, the 535's sales and its charm is not as important as how it changed the company's approach to product development and engineering both. Yeah, I'm actually pretty confident. I would say that the 535 is what represents to me the inflection point for Royal Enfield. 2016, Himalayan. Royal Enfield's first all-new motorcycle in the modern era. New engine, new frame. It was a troublesome motorcycle at the start to be sure, and odd looking, but Royal Enfield stuck with it. I still think that the Royal Enfield Himalayan needs 5 to 7 bhp more to really shine, but over the years, Royal Enfield has thoughtfully and carefully ironed out all the niggles one by one. So the BS4 bikes were already a lot better than the first ones, and today's BS6 bikes, they're actually very, very nice to ride. A major competitor for Royal Enfield, it's yet to appear. And that's honestly not a surprise for me, because India seems to coalesce around the market-leading product, perhaps because we value the safety of our purchase a lot more than many of the other attributes of that product. So if you think about it, this is why it's hard to beat Maruti's hegemony or Hyundai's momentum. This is why directly challenging and outperforming motorcycles like the Classic or the Pulsar, or for that matter, the Splendor or the Activa, is almost impossible to do. But 2021 is going to be a landmark year, because both the Classic and the Pulsar are about to see some very big changes, and our wait for that is nearly over. Now, we've already seen the J-series engine in the Meteor, and it's proven to be excellent. Vibe-free, torquey, and smooth. This will go into the Classic next. And at that point, I fully expect the Classic to immediately be the best of the retro roadsters, because the Meteor already defends itself quite handily against the likes of the Java and the CB350. The Pulsar's watch is almost over. The new generation of Pulsars should be with us within a matter of months. The current Pulsars use upgraded components that go back ages, but Bajaj R&D's new platform should deliver within a matter of months. 2021, it's going to be a huge year. COVID-19 terms and conditions do apply though. Oh, and before I forget, PowerDrift is where India's best automotive content is, so if you haven't, please do subscribe and hit the bell notification icon, because you don't want to miss out. Thank you so much for watching.